In my untangling myself from the world, in the ego structures falling away, I came across some questions that I found helpful in listening to the contraction or not that would come after that would come after I asked the question to myself. So when we, and I'm not talking about emotions, I'm talking about the wisdom that lives in your gut reaction. And these observations or questions, whilst the separate me was untangling from everything, I found were quite helpful as a way of kind of measuring in a good way to have a sense of what I was denying or trying to circumvent because I wanted self-realization. And so the goal in these questions or observations is, as I said, to recognize, if you're sitting quietly, you ask yourself these questions, your gut will react and or your mind. But I want you to listen to the gut reaction that you get. And then often a story will come up. You'll tell yourself a story about the response that you'll get from the question. So the conditioning and the programming and everything is create these veils that obscure your true nature. So the first one is, what does freedom look like to you? What does freedom look like to you? And so what might happen is the mind will start to create your idea of freedom, which isn't freedom. It's your idea of freedom. But that's okay. It gives this, if you're honest, it will give an indicator, a barometer of what you're able to recognize in what is still operating in you. So what does liberation look like? Is this moment, so whenever you ask yourself this question, is this moment enough? So over a few years, I would ask myself these questions. And over a few years, I observed how the tensions and contractions were loosening and loosening and loosening. And it became more, this is enough. Because the mechanisms and the intelligence is always at work. It never stops. It never, ever stops. When you've had that genuine glimpse of truth and that light, that metaphoric light has had chance to shine in your life, then the structures are going to start to fall away. So is this moment enough? What's your reaction? What does your gut say? And then all sorts of stuff might start to come up. Well, actually, no, it's not. So in the absolute, this moment is always enough. It's always enough. Is it okay if this is as good as it gets? Is it okay if this moment, whenever you are asking yourself this question, is as good as it gets? And you may feel defenses and tensions start to rise in opposition to your idea of self-realization or your attachment to what you want self-realization to be. So the minute that you see something operating, this conditioning and programming operating, it's great. You can't unsee it, and it becomes exposed. And with that exposure of shadow, it erodes it. It erodes it. Maybe not straight away, but it's never wasted. It's that ability to be honest and see the dysfunction still operating is always inching its way towards freedom or coming back to the core, to that which you truly are. So the next one is try to find that which is not a thing. So the whole identity of who we think we are is built around things and around thoughts. So this is an invitation for you to try to find that which is not a thing. And that's an invitation to bring you closer to your true nature. Next one is, what is wrong with this moment? What's wrong with this moment? And if you go blank, that's great. Well, either way, it's great. It doesn't matter. But often the mind will come in and say, well, I've got this, and that, and da-da-da. So it's this gauge to see, on the one hand, we can deny, we can want to believe that, oh yeah, no, that's not operating in my life anymore. But asking these questions and listening to the honest feedback from your gut will give you information. So what is wrong with this moment? And the last one is, from what do you wish to be free? From what do you wish to be free?